By the mid-1980s, once thriving downtown Mansfield had decayed into a nearly deserted area of rundown buildings, bars, and businesses operating on the fringe. The businesses that remained struggled to court an uninterested public, but their future was bleak. Mansfield's mayor and city council knew that a viable downtown was absolutely necessary to their city. They faced a challenging dilemma. How could they restore the downtown area when the prevailing public attitude was one of indifference?
In 1989, the city fathers and local developers and leaders got together and they decided they could do one of two things. They could either try to save the downtown or they could simply close up, lock up, give up, and go home. And we're fortunate that they decided to save downtown.
It wasn't an easy decision. Mansfield's leaders knew that a successful solution would require a bold strategy. But in the light of existing public apathy toward the downtown area, that strategy had to be carefully chosen.
It proved pretty hard to get tenants down here, to attract tenants and to attract customers down here. So the strategy that evolved was to create special events in the downtown area to try to reacquaint people with downtown and to make them feel safe in bringing their families downtown.
The attraction they settled on, in harmony with the gracious Victorian buildings of the district, was a carousel.
Through a mixture of both the private economic input and cooperation by the government in acquiring land and eminent domain and relocation to clear some areas, private developer moved in, made some commitments towards renovation of the building if the city would assist in the construction of the carousel. It was developed as the central focus to the area to attract other people, shops, interest factors to the area. The design of the carousel, for an architect, is an intriguing thing because very few of us have a chance to design carousel buildings over and over again. They're a very unique thing. We've probably made the building a much nicer building than historically. Historically, they were just picnic pavilions in order to keep the rain and the elements off the building.
And the first day it was open, I'll never forget, because all these little old ladies and little old men came holding hands, and they'd want to ride the carousel. And it was like they were recreating their youth. It was just the most marvelous thing. Your heart just went, it was just out of this world.
This carousel was the first to be built in the United States since the 1930s. The animals are all hand-carved wooden animals that were carved here in Mansfield by the company Carrousel Works. The panels above were also produced in Mansfield, and they're all scenes of present and past attractions in Richland County. We have a Stinson band organ that was made in Bellefontaine, Ohio. So a lot of this was made and manufactured in Mansfield or the surrounding areas. We're very proud of that.
You have people coming to downtown who never came down here before. They have some over 200,000 riders every year. Motor coaches have brought 30 to 45 seniors at 150 coaches average per year for the last 4 or 5 years. You've got hundreds of thousands of people coming through the county to the center, which is Mansfield and downtown.
One of the key factors in the design process was the overall look of the district. Most of the buildings are pre-World War I, so we were able to enforce kind of a Victorian aesthetic that's worked out real well for us. And we try to integrate a lot of quality into the restorations of the storefronts.
The Carousel's been here 6 years now, and one after one, the buildings, people bought into it. The dream was, we want to be in that district. This is such a unique area for little shops.
Were all of these efforts successful? Beyond expectation. Just listen.
We love being here. We believe in this downtown project. We saw this area last July, fell in love with it, knew this space would be a perfect place for an art gallery. Wasn't really looking to open an art gallery.
The biggest perk to being in the Carrousel district is the amount of people that are out and about, checking out the shops, checking out the carousel itself. There's a large amount of people in the business district that are within walking distance that can come down for breakfast and lunch.
They are nice, lovely buildings that they're bringing back to life. And we found antique showcases in Louisiana, and we're now, with this building, bringing back an antique jewelry store.
In the early 1900s, this was a jewelry store. So once again, it finds a home as a jewelry store.
We were in the mall for 7 years. And the situation was such, it was a beautiful mall. I had no problem with that, but we were inside. I never knew if it was morning, noon, or night, and I never knew what the weather was. And when I saw things happening down here in the Carrousel district, it was so beautiful. And I'd always had kind of a vision that I wanted the store to be kind of warm and friendly. I wanted the murals on the walls. I just sort of saw it as an old-fashioned kind of ambiance.
Over $107 million comes in annually, direct spending from visitors. That spins off into almost $1.9 million generated in local taxes for services for residents here. It also means over 4,300 jobs with a payroll of in excess of $48 million that is operating here year in and year out, and the Carousel and the district are certainly a big part of that.
Every building that has been restored now is occupied, and they're racing ahead to get others restored. So it works, and it's fun. It's not just work, it's fun to be involved.
That's why you're successful. If you got a lot of enthusiasm and you think positive that's going to happen, you'll make it happen.
Mansfield has seen their mayor and civic leaders bring about two remarkable changes. The physical one, which transformed a blighted area into a vibrant attraction, and a mental one, which turned public apathy into enthusiastic support.
And when we were working down here, the people would walk by during the day and yell at us, say, "That's the dumbest idea I've ever seen in 100 years."
To see it now with wonderful shops and beautiful restored buildings, it's the whole city has turned around. The pride in their city is very evident. For a long time, Mansfield was down on itself. It was, we don't want to be from Mansfield. We'll say we're from anywhere to keep from being from Mansfield. That whole tone has turned. People now are proud to say they're from Mansfield. They're proud to say, come down, look at our Carousel district.